Good morning. Please rise for the presentation of the colors and the national anthem. Please be seated. Good morning again. My name is Bobby Talibian, and I'm the Director of the Office of Information Policy. I would like to welcome everyone to the department's annual celebration of Sunshine Week. It's wonderful to see so many new and familiar faces here in the Great Hall. We welcome you all to the Department of Justice, and I also want to send a warm welcome to those who are joining us via the live stream. We look forward to this event every year, as Sunshine Week is an opportunity for us all to reflect on the importance of open government and the work we've done over the past year in furthering the administration of the Freedom of Information Act. The Department of Justice remains steadfast in its support of open government and our commitment of encouraging agency compliance with the FOIA. It's my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker today, the Acting Associate Attorney General of the United States, Benjamin Miser. As Acting Associate Attorney General, Mr. Miser oversees several of the department's litigation and policymaking components. He has served as several senior leadership roles in his many years of service at the department, including as Principal Deputy Associate Attorney General, Acting Assistant Attorney General for the Office of Legal Counsel, Acting Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Division, and Counselor to Attorney General Eric Holder. Of course, my favorite title that he has held is Chief FOIA Officer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for that kind introduction, Bobby, and thank you for your expert leadership of the Office of Information Policy. During my time at the department, I've been able to witness firsthand how you lead the office with integrity, with a commitment to the principles of openness embodied in the Freedom of Information Act, and with an infectious smile. But it was at my prior job where I truly learned how to appreciate how critical your work is, not just for our department, but for agencies across the federal government. I started my service in this administration as the General Counsel of the Office of Personnel Management, where my responsibilities included adjudicating FOIA appeals. On more than one occasion, I turned to OIP when I needed help solving a particularly knotty FOIA issue. And every time you provided wise counsel that ensured my agency was carrying out the statute properly. On behalf of the leadership of the Justice Department, as well as your partners across the federal government, I want to thank you and the entire OIP team for everything you do to make our government transparent and accountable. Welcome, everyone, to the Justice Department's 14th Annual Sunshine Week event. I'm so pleased to kick off this important week for those of us who believe our democracy functions best when the public knows what our government is doing. Sunshine Week is an opportunity to honor the public servants, like so many of you here, who work tirelessly to administer the Freedom of Information Act. But it is also an opportunity to recommit ourselves to the broader principles of openness, transparency, and accountability that FOIA serves. For more than 50 years, FOIA has been a vital tool for advancing these core democratic principles. 2 years ago, the Attorney General reaffirmed the government's commitment to those principles by issuing comprehensive new FOIA guidelines. The 2022 guidelines direct the heads of all executive branch departments and agencies to apply a presumption of openness in administering FOIA. In case of doubt, the guidelines instruct openness should prevail. The guidelines make clear that the Justice Department will not defend non-disclosure decisions that fail to apply such a presumption. And finally, the guidelines emphasize the importance of making proactive disclosures, removing barriers to accessing government information, and reducing FOIA processing backlogs. Since the guidelines were issued, FOIA professionals across our government have worked diligently to fulfill the commitments in the Attorney General's guidelines. Over the past 2 years, they have processed over 1.8 million requests made by news media outlets, advocacy organizations, scholars, and ordinary citizens interested in knowing more about how the government operates. This year, the government set a new record in FOIA administration. For the first time, we both received and processed over 1 million requests within a single fiscal year. And agencies proactively posted a staggering 226 million records to their websites during the same period. I know that these achievements didn't just happen. They are the result of difficult, often painstaking work by FOIA professionals throughout our government, many of them right here in this room and participating online. Hour by hour, line by line, you worked to apply the presumption of openness and shine light on the government's policies and operations. Later on in the program, we will recognize some of the individuals who have inspired us with the dedication and innovative strategies that they bring to bear in their administration of FOIA. I'm especially proud of the work we've done right here at the Department of Justice. Over the past year, we received more than 110,000 requests, a record, and processed over 144,000 requests, another record. In so doing, we were able to achieve a 32% reduction in our backlog. 28 components either maintained a zero backlog, reduced their backlogs, or had a modest increase of less than 100 requests. These figures reflect a tremendous amount of work and creative thinking by the department's own FOIA professionals who deserve a special thank you. But our work is not done. At the direction of the Deputy Attorney General, OIP is working closely with the 8 components that account for the largest portion of the department's remaining backlog, or whose backlog has grown substantially in recent years, to create backlog reduction plans and goals. In developing these plans, OIP and the components have reevaluated the strength of their FOIA programs, considered alternative ways to address the root causes of the backlogs, and identified what would be needed to reach reduction targets. In the coming months, OIP will be sharing government-wide guidance for agencies on the preparation of their own backlog reduction plans. Over the past year, OIP has also made significant progress on several exciting new initiatives aimed at increasing government transparency and fulfilling the commitments made in the 5th Open Government Partnership National Action Plan. Last March, OIP issued an updated self-assessment toolkit, which provides resources for agencies to use when assessing their administration of FOIA. The updated toolkit includes modules for proactive disclosures, administrative appeals, technology, and many other topics. Last October, OIP launched a new search tool on FOIA.gov, the enchantingly named FOIA Wizard, that helps members of the public locate commonly requested government information and identify the proper agency to which to submit a FOIA request. People can use this wizard to locate immigration records, Social Security records, military records, and more. I know Bobby is planning to speak more about the wizard and our plans to expand its functionality over time. I feel like I'm talking about the Wizard of Oz, but it's even more magical. And just this week, OIP will publish for public comment shared baseline business standards that will make it easier for agencies to acquire technology and in turn improve efficiency and consistency in processing FOIA requests. In short, FOIA professionals have had a busy year and there is much more to come in the year ahead. I want to thank you all for joining us today to celebrate Sunshine Week and for your dedication to public service. I'm inspired by everything you do to fulfill the values of openness, transparency, and accountability that Congress enshrined in FOIA more than 50 years ago. And I'm heartened to see just how much progress we've made in advancing those values in the last year. Your work in the sunlight is required for an open and accountable government. Thank you all again, and I hope you enjoy today's program.
Well, now is a especially exciting time to be working in FOIA. While for many years agencies have been using technology to help us gain efficiencies in the FOIA processing, the use of advanced technologies, including artificial intelligence, is coming to the forefront across government and meaningfully improving access to information. I'm pleased to be able to highlight some examples later in the presentation. We're in a transformative time for agency FOIA administration and look forward to further collaboration and advancement in the years ahead. As the acting Associate Attorney General highlighted, both the public and the government set records for their number of FOIA requests submitted and processed in a single year, topping over 1 million requests. As demand for information remains high, the Attorney General's 2022 FOIA guidelines remind us of key principles in open government, including the importance of applying a presumption of openness, maximizing proactive disclosures, and reducing barriers to access. Over the past year, we have continued to work to encourage government-wide compliance with the FOIA and the Attorney General's guidelines in several ways, including by issuing guidance, working with agencies to meet their FOIA reporting obligations. I'm pleased to share that all agencies subject to the FOIA have finalized their fiscal year 2023 annual FOIA reports, and that data is now all available on FOIA.gov. Also being posted this week are agencies' chief FOIA officer reports, which detail efforts agencies have undertaken since last Sunshine Week in 5 key areas of FOIA administration. For 2024, we revised the report guidelines in particular to obtain information from agencies about the timing of proactive disclosures and the publishing of FOIA logs. The 2024 Chief FOIA Officer reports detail a range of successes, which I will briefly highlight in a moment. But I encourage everyone to take a look at these reports to learn about the work of agencies have achieved to improve their overall FOIA administration. Agencies themselves can look to these reports to learn about successful strategies instituted and best practices detailed by their colleague agencies. As in prior years, the department will also issue our own summary and assessment of these reports with accompanying guidance. Before we present our 2024 FOIA awards, I would like to take a moment to briefly highlight some very high-level statistics from the fiscal year 2024 annual reports, as well as the work of OIP and many accomplishments by agencies as reported in their Chief FOIA Officer reports. As we've mentioned, you can see that fiscal year 2023 continued the record-breaking streak from last year. In fiscal year 2023, both government received and processed high numbers of requests. The 1.2 million requests that were received is a 29% increase from the prior year. And in fiscal year 2023, agencies strived to meet this demand by processing over 1.1 million requests, which is nearly 28% more than the prior year. Over the past year, OIP continued to encourage agency compliance with the FOIA in several ways and has made progress on several FOIA initiatives. We continue to provide regular training virtually and on-site to thousands of FOIA professionals across the government. Since establishing virtual trainings in 2020, we have been able to reach much larger and more geographically dispersed audiences than ever before. We also continue to provide and make available our e-learning training modules that meets the needs of all levels of the workforce. We continue to oversee agency interoperability with the National FOIA portal on FOIA.gov. As of in the fiscal year 2023, all agencies, including those that were previously granted an exception, were required to achieve full operability. We also made progress or completed the department's remaining FOIA commitments, as the Acting Associate Attorney General mentioned, made in the 5th Open Government National Action Plan, including establishing FOIA business standards and the FOIA.gov search tool, which I'll discuss in a little bit more detail shortly. As always, we continue to provide tailored advice to agencies through our FOIA counselor service and issued policy guidance on a range of topics. Last August, for example, we issued guidance to agencies on the importance of creating and maintaining standard operating procedures for FOIA. After surveying agencies about SOPs in their CFO reports and drawing lessons learned from the department's own component improvement initiative, the guidance addresses key elements of SOPs, it defines SOPs, identifies benefits for agencies and requesters, and discusses the content and format of SOPs, and provides considerations for effectively implementing and maintaining them. As we do each year, OIP again issued guidance to agencies in light of a review of an assessment of agencies' progress based on their 2023 Chief FOIA Officer reports. Our guidance emphasized the importance of timely processing, particularly for simple track requests, with references to best practices articulated in OIP's self-assessment toolkit. Reminded agencies of FOIA.gov's interoperability requirements, and emphasize the perceivable harm standard and the requirement from the Attorney General's FOIA guidelines that agencies notify requesters that they have considered the standard when applying exemptions. We continue to provide and update many additional FOIA resources listed here, which I encourage agencies to use, including our rolling updates of the Department's Guide to the FOIA. Over the past year, we've updated several of the chapters, as well as, and are now well into another cycle of rolling updates. We've led on 3 commitments, as I mentioned, in the 5th Open Government National Action Plan. As announced last Sunshine Week, we completed the self-assessment toolkit. Over the past year, we also completed the commitment to enhance the user experience on FOIA.gov by releasing the guided user tool the Acting Associate Attorney General mentioned. We also made significant progress towards developing the shared FOIA business standards. Planning for the 6th National Action Plan is underway, and we look forward to being an active participant in the development of that plan. For business standards, we continue to work collaboratively with OGIS, GSA, and the Business Standard Council to develop shared FOIA business standards in line with the Federal Integrated Business Framework. Over the past year, we led an interagency working group to draft baseline standards to incorporate feedback from agencies. This week, these standards will be published on regulations.gov and announced in the Federal Register. The standards cover key functional areas of FOIA administration, such as request intake, search, FOIA reporting, proactive disclosures, and more. We encourage all interested members of the public, including commercial vendors, to review and provide comments on the proposed standards. We are very pleased to highlight the completion of the first iteration of our new guided experience on FOIA.gov, or otherwise known as the FOIA Wizard, which was released last October. The tool helps users find already public information at the best agents or the best agency to which they can submit a FOIA request if needed. Since the release of the National FOIA Portal in 2018, we have longed for this type of functionality. We know that navigating the federal ecosystem can be difficult for the public who may not be familiar with how government is organized or which agencies may have specific information they are looking for. We were fortunate to work with partners at Forum 1 and Poly Delta who saw the value in this effort and went above and beyond to help us bring it to life. We also greatly appreciate several of our agency colleagues who met with the project team to provide their input and additional members of the public that participated in testing. The tool contains common topics that users can select, as well as a free text field where they can enter search terms. The common topics provide logic-based pathways that guide the user to the right place, or allow the user to enter their own search terms. A combination of logic and machine If users enter their own search terms, a combination of logic and machine learning functionality provides results consisting of publicly available documents and/or suggestions of where to submit a FOIA request. Here on the screen, you can see the search page where users can select one of 6 common topics, such as immigration or travel records, medical records, military records, and so on. Alternatively, they can also create their own search query. Here, for example, you can see if the user indicates that they are looking for their own immigration or travel records. They are shown a list of the most commonly sought records ranging from A files to passport records to domestic travel records. And for example, if they click on visa records, they are directed to the Department of State, where they can submit a FOIA request for those records. FOIA.gov shows them some tips for writing the request before bringing them to the request page. In some instances, a common topic will lead the user to find information outside of the FOIA process. For example, when looking for former military service members' official military personnel file, they are provided instructions to request this information from eVet Recs or by submitting a standard Form 180 with additional information about the National Personnel Records Center. Finally, users may wish to enter their own search terms. For example, if you're looking for JFK assassination records, users will be directed to the NARA's JFK assassination records collection, or suggested NARA as a possible agency to submit a FOIA request. And on the How It Works page, we explain how the logic and machine learning come together to make this tool happen. So when users enter their own search terms, the pathway logic determines whether the query would be satisfied by a predefined user journey, by any of the predefined user journeys. If not, the agency matching determines whether the query includes an agency name, acronym, or something similar in their mission statement information that would direct the user to a particular agency. If neither the pathway or the agency matching provide an answer, that's when the machine learning comes into play. The machine learning relies on published agency FOIA logs and frequently requested documents posted in agencies' FOIA libraries to suggest agencies and documents to the user. Since its launch, we were very excited to just recently hit over 50,000 queries. We've seen that most users are independently selecting one of the 6 predefined user journeys. An additional 14% of users land in one of those user journeys based off their search terms. And then seeing that nearly three-quarters of all users land in the predefined journeys has reinforced our observations from our discovery phase with respect to the most commonly sought types of information. The remaining 28% of users are getting agency and/or document results. On average, they are getting 1 to 2 agencies suggested to them or 3 documents per query. In anticipation of launching the search tool, we knew that it would be critical for us to see how real users are engaging with it so that we could then find areas for refinement and improvement. We were already able to make some quick adjustments soon after the launch to refine the results users were seeing. Based on the most common searches, we've already begun to work and develop another user journey. We encourage members of the public to use the tool and provide feedback about their experience. We're also actively working on our data acquisition strategy moving forward. The success of the tool depends on having robust and current data from agencies. Our initial launch relied on a manual collection of what is currently a static data set. We're working and exploring the best ways to routinely obtain information from agencies about their FOIA logs and frequently requested records that are posted in their FOIA libraries. Ideally, agencies will be able to provide near real-time updates to the data with a low amount of effort. We're planning to issue guidance to agencies on posting FOIA logs and frequently requested records to lay the groundwork for this data acquisition effort. By making information more readily available in a centralized way, we can further the public's access to the vast range of information agencies are posting. The Chief FOIA Officers Council had a very active year as well, especially through the work of its two committees. The Technology Committee continues to have several active working groups. This past year, the FOIA Reference Model Working Group published a white paper highlighting possible application of a FOIA reference model that outlines the FOIA process in detail. The Technology Committee is also gearing up for the Next Gen 2.0 FOIA Technology Showcase to be held later in the spring. The working groups of the Committee on Cross-Agency Collaboration and Innovation have made significant progress on deliverables related to standardizing the GIS series. They also coordinated a multi-panel best practices workshop last fall about using and sharing resources. While committees meet regularly, we also continue to hold full public meetings. Information about the work of the Chief FOIA Officer Council is available on FOIA.gov on the CFO Council page. I want to personally thank my partner in co-chairing the Council, Alina Simo, and the chairs of the two committees, Eric Stein, Michael Sarich, Abioli, and Michael Bell, and all the committee members for their contributions in helping agencies elevate their FOIA programs. Beyond achieving historic records and processing requests, agencies pursued the spirit of FOIA in other ways as well. Their efforts in these 5 key areas of FOIA administration tied to the Attorney General's 2022 FOIA guidelines are detailed in their CFO reports, and I'd like to highlight a few of them briefly. One way that agencies have demonstrated their high level of commitment to FOIA is by incorporating FOIA milestones into their agency's overall goals. For example, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Millennium Challenge Corporation, and the Environmental Protection Agency all included FOIA elements in their agency's strategic plans. The Department of Interior affirmed their commitment to FOIA by creating training courses for FOIA processors on applying the FOIA's foreseeable harm requirement. Senior leadership also continued to support and uplift FOIA programs across the federal government. The Office of Management and Budget centered FOIA in the agency's core budget by increasing short-term funding to tackle their FOIA backlog. The Department of Health and Human Services filled a senior executive service position with the sole function of serving as the Deputy Agency Chief FOIA Officer. Finally, the Internal Revenue Service Chief Privacy Officer made it a priority to inform IRS employees of their obligations under FOIA through routine and targeted messaging and engagement. In addition to attending OIP-hosted trainings, many agencies provided training to their FOIA staff throughout the year. For instance, numerous agencies required FOIA training as part of their onboarding process for all new employees. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission, Court Services and Offender Supervision Agency, and Merit Systems Protection Board are just a few examples. Department of Education provided a slew of training and education events during their Sunshine Week programming, which included cross-collaboration between other FOIA agencies and significant thought leaders in the community. The National Labor Relations Board co-presented an informative webinar for members of the requester community titled Understanding FOIA Records, Exemptions, and Best Practices. This presentation bolstered participants' understanding of the FOIA request process. Finally, the Treasury Department FOIA staff attended open government listening sessions to gain feedback from members of the public to inform their annual goals. Of course, proactive disclosures are a foundational element of FOIA. This has led agencies to publishing historic and significant records on their websites, so they are readily available for the public. Agencies' Chief FOIA Officer reports contain a wealth of examples of proactive disclosures. For example, the Department of Housing and Urban Development implemented a new proactive disclosure policy which requires all HUD employees, program offices, and FOIA staff to proactively disclose records. With a complete revamping of their decision search feature function, their decision search feature function, the Occupational Safety and Health Review Commission has seen requesters withdraw requests due to the ease of which they were able to access the information on their website. Noticing additional context was needed for certain types of requested records, the Election Assistant Commission took steps to publish additional explanatory information to better inform the public. And NARA began publishing some of the first of what will be, I'm sure, many FOIA logs for the Barack Obama Presidential Library this fiscal year. The Department of Justice's Office of Inspector General continuously publishes high-profile reports with easy-to-use search features and filters. The U.S. Agency for International Development manages foreignassistance.gov, which allows users to explore data and information in relation to U.S. foreign assistance through user-friendly maps and graphics. The Bureau of Economic Analysis provides almost real-time economic data as well as open source code on their GitHub so the public can replicate the Bureau's charts and tables. The National Science Foundation revamped their National Science Foundation by the Numbers Portfolio dashboard, which provides comprehensive award proposals and budget data in visually appealing and easy-to-use charts. Finally, in what is the last of what could be an endless list of examples, the Department of Health and Human Services operates healthdata.gov, which provides routinely updated data sets on topics including environmental health, medical devices, Medicare and Medicaid, social services, mental health, substance abuse, and more. With each passing year bringing greater numbers of submitted requests, agencies also continue to look for ways to improve efficiency through the use of advanced technology. As I mentioned earlier, AI and various forms of automation are becoming more prevalent in FOIA. Just to give some examples, the FBI's automated search function was used for all simple Privacy Act requests. In instances where there were no responsive records, a letter was automatically created. This automated function ended up generating letters in 72% of all submitted simple Privacy Act requests. Meanwhile, the Department of State is currently running 2 different pilot programs involving AI. One pilot program resulted in the publication of newly declassified cables that involved human decision-making that was augmented and made more efficient by machine learning. The National Institute of Health at the Department of Health and Human Services is acquiring video software that automatically tracks and identifies certain facial features in videos and redacts those features for the duration of the video. FOIA programs continue to collaborate with other program offices in their agencies for more comprehensive technological capabilities. The Department of Interior, for example, has a FOIA technology working group comprised of members of the FOIA and IT professionals who continually review FOIA technological capabilities and needs at the agency. The Social Security Administration worked with IT staff to improve the quality of keyword searches in their email search software to assist in requests involving email. Multiple agencies also report on steps taken to remove barriers for access. For example, providing alternative means of access for first-party information outside of the FOIA process. The Federal Aviation Administration utilizes a simple form for airmen to obtain their medical records and certificates without submitting a FOIA request. The National Archives teamed up with Veterans Administration to digitize veterans' official military personnel files to make it easier for veterans to view and retrieve their records. Besides making it easier to access first-party information, agencies employed other means to increase accessibility as well. For example, the Department of Education began using a plug-in tool to scan and evaluate accessibility compliance in responsive records before posting them to their website. The National Credit Union Administration completely overhauled its FOIA website to include multiple ways of accessing information. And finally, EPA established a new standard qualification for expedited processing in line with EPA's value and core mission. If a requester can demonstrate an environmental justice-related need for the records, they can now qualify for expedited processing. The government, of course, could not accomplish all of this without the FOIA professionals, all of you who work diligently each and every day to administer this law that is so fundamental to our democracy. FOIA professionals demonstrate their dedication to the important work by not only communicating in a spirit of cooperation with requesters and reviewing pages upon pages of records, but also by collaborating with and across agencies to improve FOIA administration as a whole. The department has long recognized the key role of FOIA professionals in implementing this law. In presenting the 2024 Sunshine Week Awards, we are pleased to have the opportunity to acknowledge a small sample of the many exceptional public servants who work in FOIA. This was, again, an incredibly competitive year for awards, with another record-setting number of nominations received, over 70 nominations. I'm now going to turn this over to Lindsay Steele, the Chief of OIP's compliance staff, who will be announcing the awards. I'd like to personally thank Lindsay and her team for everything leading up for the many months working with you all on reports and everything that went into today's event.
Gina. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. Very excited to get started with our awards ceremony. As Bobby mentioned, we had a record number of submissions, which also means a record number of awards that we're very excited to give out. This year, we have 5 categories of awards. This first category is for exceptional service by a FOIA professional or team of FOIA professionals. This award recognizes exemplary performance and exceptional contributions by a FOIA professional or team of FOIA professionals in carrying out the agency's administration of the FOIA. We have 11 awards in this category. Our first award in this category goes to Andrea Everett, a government information specialist and FOIA manager in the U.S. Army. Ms. Everett manages the FOIA program for the U.S. Army Installation Management Command, a role she has held for 19 years. She hosts quarterly FOIA sessions to put out information papers, publications, and DOJ guidance. She was instrumental in changing internal procedures to facilitate greater consistency in FOIA reporting. Ms. Everett has always been a great team player. Her expertise is often sought out from other FOIA representatives throughout the enterprise, and she's an excellent mentor to other employees. She's also received positive feedback from requesters, in one instance coordinating the prompt release of records that impacted a service member's decision to remain in the Army. Ms. Everett was nominated by Mr. James Irvin from the Installation Management Command, and she is joining us via live stream today. Ms. Everett, thank you for your exceptional service. Our second recipient of the Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional Award goes to Lieutenant Brandon Maitland, head of the FOIA branch in the General Litigation Division, Code 14, Department of the Navy. Lieutenant Maitland exhibits impactful leadership, commitment to process improvement, and a tireless work ethic. During the past year, he spearheaded process improvements that substantially drove down average processing times for appeals by 17 days, and their response times will soon be within 20 days. He also led the unit through a case management system transition, where he identified opportunities for automation and streamlined workflows, ensuring that the team would be a force multiplier for improving the broader FOIA program. Lieutenant Maitland also personally developed and delivered Department of Navy-wide FOIA training at the 2023 Navy FOIA Training Symposium, both in person and virtual, for which he received accolades from the Deputy General Counsel of the Navy and the Judge Advocate General. Lieutenant Maitland was nominated by Sean Schrock, Director, OJAG General Litigation Division. Lieutenant Maitland, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next recipients of awards for exceptional service recognize the Health Resources and Services Administration FOIA team and its manager, Brian May, from the Department of Health and Human Services. Over the past year, the HRSA FOIA team collaborated to provide training, mentorship, guidance, oversight, and peer review of submitted work to several new recent hires. To facilitate their onboarding and lay the foundation for consistency, the team created various standard operating procedures, templates, and other job aids. During fiscal year 23, the FOIA team received and processed the highest volume of requests the agency has ever seen. While HRSA received 504 requests, a 22% increase over fiscal year 22, the team reviewed the equivalent of approximately 12 million pages in the process. We are also recognizing Mr. Brian May, HRSA's FOIA officer. In his 3 years in this position, he has restructured the FOIA team, established new procedures to ensure consistency in review and fee determinations, and facilitated ongoing training and accountability metrics to instill excellence. Mr. May also deployed new AI technology into the search process, saving staff hundreds of hours and realizing a 13% increase in productivity within 6 months. He initiated the FOIA tip, published in the HRS Weekly newsletter, to educate all agency staff about their responsibilities under the FOIA. He regularly meets with requesters virtually, which has been well received and fosters collaboration with the requester community. Overall, the work of Mr. May and the entire HRSA FOIA team has propelled the office forward, and they model a fully successful remote team for others to emulate. Mr. May and the HRSA FOIA team was nominated by William Holzerlin, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer at HHS. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Our next recipient of the Award for Exceptional Service by a team of FOIA professionals goes to the Defense Finance and Accounting Service FOIA team. The FOIA team demonstrates collaboration internally and across DFAS, reflecting the agency's core values of integrity, service, and innovation. They build relationships and collaborate with functional areas of DFAS to ensure prompt and efficient responses, which helps non-FOIA staff understand the importance of FOIA and its requirements. The team has developed several resources that have improved overall FOIA administration. They've also significantly improved the component's website, giving it a fresh, modern style, quick links, and increased proactive disclosures. They continue to conduct self-assessments and complete monthly reporting to manage their FOIA workload. These efforts are reflected in the fact that DFAS responds to nearly all requests within 20 days and has one of the lowest backlogs within the Department of Defense. Finally, the team also developed a career development roadmap for government information specialists, detailing steps from journeyman to supervisor and manager. This tool will be used for current and future employee growth, knowledge, capabilities, and skills, paving the way to a successful career in FOIA administration. Angela Schultz, Director for Corporate Communications at DFAS, nominated the DFAS FOIA team for this award. Thank you all and your team for your exceptional service. Our next recipient of the Award for Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional goes to Gregory Brooks Liswell, a FOIA attorney at the Department of Agriculture. Mr. Liswell has exemplified being an advocate for transparency, and the USDA FOIA community has come to rely on his dependability and vast knowledge of the FOIA for more than a decade. His clear guidance and analyses on many complex requests are a trusted resource for new and seasoned FOIA analysts. Whether it is providing comments or advice, drafting court pleadings, or volunteering to work with USDA's components to iron out thorny issues, Mr. Liswell collaborates and shares ideas while encouraging the FOIA staff. He can navigate employees' natural hesitancy around sensitive FOIA releases and reassures subject matter experts and senior leaders when recommending releases. Ever the consummate professional, his unflappable demeanor encourages FOIA staff to engage in respectful and collaborative discussions with requesters. Mr. Liswell was nominated by Alexis Graves, Director of the Office of Information Affairs in the Office of General Counsel at USDA. Thank you, Mr. Liswell, for your exceptional service. And I believe he will be viewing us, accepting this award via live stream. So thank you, Mr. Liswell. Our next recipient of the Award for Exceptional Service by a FOIA Professional goes to Gregory Turner, U.S. Army Material Command Senior Privacy Officer and FOIA Officer. Mr. Turner has ensured the success of the AMC FOIA program not only within the headquarters, but throughout the AMC enterprise. His sage advice and unparalleled knowledge of the FOIA make him arguably one of the top FOIA officials in the U.S. Army and the DoD. Under his leadership, the AMC FOIA program has consistently exceeded greater than 10% backlog reduction. Last year, AMC reduced its backlog 16% and closed over 8,800 cases. Daily, Mr. Turner is called upon not only by FOIA officers throughout the enterprise, but attorneys and chief counsels to advise on the most complex FOIA actions. To increase efficiency, he has organized multiple FOIA training courses for both officers and attorneys, and personally trains all new FOIA officers assigned to AMC. He has assisted with and participated in every Office of Command Counsel CLE course since 2019, and has co-drafted multiple FOIA articles for the quarterly Command Counsel update. He's also drafting a local regulation to provide guidance throughout the AMC FOIA enterprise. And in 2023, due to his outstanding accomplishments, he was the only FOIA government information specialist selected to participate in an enterprise talent management program. Colonel Anthony Adolph, U.S. Army Material Command, Staff Judge Advocate, Military Deputy Command Counsel, nominated Mr. Turner for this award. Mr. Turner, thank you for your exceptional service, and congratulations. Our next award in this category goes to the Food and Drug Administration Office of the Commissioner FOIA team. This small but mighty group with just 2 full-time employees has successfully navigated the administration of FOIA despite an increased level of incoming FOIA requests and litigation. The team closed complicated, voluminous requests for records related to the government's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and other high-profile issues. OC FOIA has taken advantage of every possible avenue to employ efficiency and timeliness of responses. This group supplemented staff with temporary detailees and has leveraged the skills of other agency FOIA staff. They have also used e-discovery and processing tools as much as possible to ensure the most comprehensive searches and efficient processing. The team has increased the volume and subject matter of records posted in the FOIA libraries, and they've also increased collaboration across FDA FOIA offices, training records custodians, which facilitate more efficient and accurate processing. William Holzerlin, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer for HHS, nominated the OC FOIA team for this award. Thank you and your team for your exceptional service. Our next award for exceptional service by a FOIA professional goes to 2 government information specialists from the Federal Bureau of Prisons Office of General Counsel, Christy Scarantino and Sarah Lilly, who will both be joining us via live stream today. They are both expert processors, trainers, innovators, and mentors. They set the standard in all that they do, and BOP assigns them the most difficult and time-sensitive requests. Both combine their FOIA subject matter expertise with invaluable experience as correctional officers to make knowledgeable, informed, and legally sustainable recommendations concerning the release of BOP records. True professionals, Ms. Scarantino and Ms. Lilly spent countless hours mentoring and assisting BOP FOIA professionals throughout the country who regularly seek their guidance. No matter how much pressure they are under, their selfless service ensures that they always find time to patiently help others, which significantly contributes to an outstanding work culture, despite several personnel shortages and significant increases in the complexity of requests. BOP overhauled its FOIA operations in 2023, and both Ms. Scarantino and Ms. Lilly provided invaluable input before and during implementation. BOP's FOIA administration markedly improved because of their efforts. Due in significant part to their efforts, BOP averaged under 7 days to process simple requests and prompt adjudication of expedition requests. Overall, they are key contributors to promoting government transparency and are greatly appreciated by their colleagues. Ms. Scarantino and Ms. Lilly were nominated by James Wills, General Counsel for the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Thank you both for your exceptional service. Our next award in this category goes to Marissa Wagner, an attorney advisor at the National Labor Relations Board. Ms. Wagner handled an unprecedented and voluminous set of requests for NLRB. She developed a comprehensive plan, managed complex legal issues, and expertly represented the agency. Ms. Wagner effectively shepherded the processing of extensive records by training and managing the assignments of an ad hoc team, including staff from inside and outside the agency's FOIA branch. She leveraged their diverse skill sets and expertise to foster a collaborative environment. Ms. Wagner was able to leverage and quickly master the agency's e-discovery tools, not typically used by the FOIA branch, to ingest, review, and release records on a monthly basis. She also developed and conducted trainings on all aspects of FOIA for the non-FOIA branch staff and on the technology for the entire litigation team staff so that they could efficiently perform large-scale review. This work and her expertise were subsequently instrumental in facilitating a smooth transition to NLRB's new FOIA processing system. Ms. Wagner's leadership, strategic approaches, and collaborative spirit have enhanced the agency's FOIA processing and set a new standard for handling complex FOIA matters. Ms. Wagner was nominated by Cinta Keeling, FOIA branch chief at NLRB. Thank you for your exceptional service. Our last individual award in this category goes to Michael McIntyre, an attorney in the Department of the Air Force Civil Law and Litigation Directorate, Civil Law and Policy Division. Mr. McIntyre is the Air Force's privacy, FOIA, and related information access legal advisor, providing legal advice and training to over 100 Air Force offices worldwide. Over the past year, he completed over 500 written legal reviews involving hundreds of thousands of pages of records, covering some of the most complex and wide-ranging requests received. His insight and expertise is commonly requested by other DoD components and agencies. Mr. McIntyre is a primary lecturer and trainer on Air Force FOIA processing. He gives advice and training on biweekly calls attended by hundreds of Air Force FOIA personnel, and also provides training held by DoD and the Navy in person and virtually. He advises on writing and updating FOIA policy and generally works to ensure releases through various avenues, such as congressional and public affairs offices, are consistent and correct. Mr. McIntyre was nominated by Colonel Erica Harris, Department of the Air Force Deputy Chief, Civil Law and Litigation, and he is joining us via live stream. Mr. McIntyre, thank you for your exceptional service. Our last award in this category is a team award for the Office of the Secretary of Defense Joint Staff FOIA Team. The OSCJS FOIA team brought in a business process improvement team, which validated the assumption that the majority of the work to be done to answer its over 3,500 requests was outside the FOIA office. This resulted in an initiative to focus on assisting offices with returning the packages to support the closure of requests. The team took several steps to facilitate the closure of these requests, including holding discussions with senior leadership, resulting in the onboarding of new contractors, sending memos from OSCJS senior leadership in other offices, providing briefings to senior executives about the FOIA and related challenges, providing direct support to another office holding the most taskers, holding outreach activities to raise the visibility of FOIA across the organization and demystify the process, among other steps. As a result of this multi-layered effort involving senior leadership and component staff, OSCJS closed 58% more requests in fiscal year 23 as compared to fiscal year 22, closed 89% more consultations, reduced its backlog by 12%, and closed its oldest requests and consults. Stephanie Carr, Chief of the FOIA Division for OSCJS, nominated the team for this award. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Get them in line.
All right.
There we go. Right about there. Perfect. Everybody look this way. And 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Our next award recognizes 2 FOIA professionals who have furthered advancements in government-wide FOIA administration, Michael Bell and Abi Oyewol, co-chairs of the Chief FOIA Officers Council Committee on Cross-Agency Collaboration and Innovation. Michael and Abi have served as the co-chairs of the committee since it was established by the Council in October of 2020. Under their leadership, the committee has brought together representatives of a diverse group of agencies to develop and share best practices on one of the toughest challenges in FOIA, resources. This past October, the committee and its resources working group held a best practices workshop for agencies that addressed retaining and developing FOIA staff, FOIA technology, and innovative staffing opportunities. We are also excited to soon publish the committee's comprehensive white paper on the Government Information Specialist series, and later a toolkit for agencies to use for recruiting, hiring, selecting, and retaining FOIA professionals under the GIS series. Abi and Mike were nominated by the co-chairs of the CFO Council, Bobby Talibian and Alina Simo. Thank you both for your contributions to government-wide FOIA administration. Our next award category is for outstanding contributions by a new employee. This award recognizes exceptional performance and notable contributions in carrying out the agency's FOIA responsibilities by a new employee with fewer than 3 years of work in FOIA. We have 4 awards in this category. Our first award in this category goes to Connor Vaverka from the Environmental Protection Agency. Since joining the EPA's Office of Chemical Safety and Pollution Prevention's FOIA program in August 2021, after serving 2 summers as a law clerk while finishing law school, Mr. Vaverka has demonstrated outstanding initiative and has consistently worked at a level above and beyond expectations. He has taken on a leadership role in the e-discovery function within the office and has been a leader in customer service outreach. He's also trained staff and contractors on both exemption review and the use of e-discovery tools. He has been instrumental in improving the quality and efficiency of the office's searches and use of e-discovery tools. Mr. Vaverka has become a leader among his peers by providing formal training and being a general resource for staff. He was nominated by Jeffrey Prito, General Counsel for EPA. Mr. Vaverka, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next award in this category goes to Jordan Barber from the Department of Homeland Security Privacy Office. She is joining us via live stream. As a Pathways intern in the Privacy Office, Ms. Barber has performed work closer to that of a GS-11 or GS-12 employee. Notably, she logged in over 1,000 new OBIM requests and performed records review on nearly 9,000 record sets with minimum errors. Due to her outstanding pace and high proficiency, she was quickly moved to the headquarters intake FOIA operations team. Her flexibility and ability to seamlessly integrate into new teams or workflows has enabled the privacy FOIA intake team to maintain a high level of work. She maintains a full course load outside of her part-time work for the Privacy Office and is still able to make such a tangible impact on the office's success. Ms. Barber was nominated by DHS's Deputy Chief FOIA Officer, Katrina Pavlik-Keenan. Ms. Barber, thank you for your exceptional service. Our next awardee is also joining us remotely, and our next award in this category goes to Shanice White from the Federal Bureau of Prisons Northeast Region. Since July 2022, Ms. White closed nearly 500 FOIA requests, accounting for over 7% of all BOP's closed requests. While new to FOIA, she brought correctional and case management experience to the job, which enabled her to fully understand the safety and security concerns when processing records, and she regularly handles complex requests. Last summer, despite only having 1 year of experience, she expertly trained a new hire, enabling them to have an immediate positive impact. Due to Ms. White's hard work, dedication, and proficiency, the Northeast region reduced their FOIA backlog in fiscal year 2023. BOP's General Counsel, James Wills, nominated Ms. White for this award. Ms. White, thank you for your exceptional FOIA service. Our next and final award in this category go to two attorney advisors in the National Labor Relations Board FOIA Branch Office, William Hearn and Brenna Schertz, both of whom are joining us via live stream. Since joining the NLRB FOIA branch in the summer of 2022, Mr. Hearn and Ms. Schertz quickly demonstrated remarkable acumen, efficiency, and initiative working on FOIA requests. Mr. Hearn was tasked with processing some of the NLRB's most sensitive and complex requests. He prepared written correspondence templates that facilitated the office being able to communicate effectively with requesters about refining particularly complex requests, improving the efficiency and effectiveness of the NLRB's FOIA branch. Ms. Schertz tackled a high volume of requests, including more complex cases that a new attorney would not typically be expected to handle. Ms. Schertz also assisted her colleagues by sharing tips and best practices in a staff presentation about how she processes and closes requests so quickly. Mr. Hearn and Ms. Schertz together closed an impressive percentage of the NLRB FOIA branch's cases, greatly contributing to the agency's backlog, reducing to the single digits at the end of fiscal year 2023. Ms. Schertz and Mr. Hearn were nominated by Cinta Keeling, FOIA branch chief at NLRB. Thank you both for your exceptional service. Our next award category is for exceptional advancements in the area of IT to improve FOIA administration. This award recognizes exceptional achievements in greater utilizing technology to make information more accessible. We have one award in this category. The award in this category goes to the Customs and Border Protection FOIA bots team at the Department of Homeland Security. The CBP Robotic Process Automation team coordinated with the FOIA division to create 5 total bots to assist with manual tasks done during the FOIA process, replacing the human need to complete them. 2 of the bots were created to close simple FOIA requests with dispositions determined by the FOIA staff and then send the determination to the requester. The 3rd bot automated searches for FOIAs requesting legal international travel data to and from the US and I-94 information, batching the searches, separating the responsive documents into folders, and creating search summaries. The 4th bot is an expanded version of the travel bot and includes searches for secondary inspections in addition to legal travel history and I-94 records. The 5th search bot conducts searches for apprehension, detention, and removal records, locating responsive records and saving them as PDFs. The team is continuing to explore avenues for further automation. To date, in fiscal year 2023, the bots have saved approximately 3,150 human hours and $190,000. DHS is exploring other ways to use these innovations to benefit more of the DHS FOIA component offices. Katrina Pavlikinen, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer in the DHS Privacy Office, nominated the team. Thank you all for your exceptional service. Our next award category is Exceptional Advancements in Proactive Disclosures, for which we also received a record number of nominations, which we were very excited about. This award recognizes exceptional achievements by an agency or team of professionals at the agency to proactively make more information available online. We have 4 awards in this category this year. The first award for exceptional advancements in proactive disclosures go to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. In the past 2 years, NRC has engaged in a multi-pronged effort to increase proactive disclosure requirements. They incorporated strategies to publicize records following requests, strengthened agency-wide training to boost awareness of the required proactive disclosures, updated procedures, and refined the tracking and reporting of these disclosures. These efforts have yielded results in the data. While NRC reported 30 required disclosures in 2021, this figure rose to over 600 in 2023. Additionally, NRC has an incredibly robust public record-keeping system, the Agency Documents Access and Management System, which is in part available online. Requesters can search web-based ADAMs for official agency records in the ADAMS repository. Examples include publicly available regulatory guides, FOIA responses, inspection reports, commission documents, correspondence, and other regulatory and technical documents written by NRC's staff, contractors, and licensees. Web-based ADAMS permits full-text searching and enables users to view document images, download files, and print locally. NRC recently updated its FOIA desk guide, ensures that the publicly available FOIA responses are promptly added to web-based ADAMS during closeout. Scott Flanders, Chief Information Officer for NRC, nominated the NRC FOIA team for this award. Thank you all for your exceptional work to improve proactive disclosures. Our next award in this category goes to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's FOIA Log Enhancement Project team. The FBI FOIA Log Enhancement team improved public access to FBI FOIA request logs by automating and proactively posting over 20 years of logs on the Vault, the FBI's online FOIA library. The team engineered success by combining FOIA program and IT expertise to develop a quick and efficient process to systematically identify the most complete version and publicly post the logs. As a result, over the course of 6 weeks, the team developed and processed over 6,800 pages of FOIA logs, culminating in the proactive disclosure of the logs on the Vault from the years 2000 to 2023. Given the high interest in FBI records over time, this provides greater insight to the information that's been previously requested. Michael Seidel, Section Chief for the FBI's Information Management Division, nominated the team for this award. Thank you all for your service in improving proactive disclosures. The next team recipient of the Advancements in Proactive Disclosure Award goes to the Transparency Initiative team from the DHS Privacy Office. This team was formed to create and carry out tasks in direct support of the Secretary of Homeland Security's priorities, which include transparency. This team reviews various communication methods and strategizes how to effectively deliver information, aside from just posting to FOIA libraries. They perform scheduled, as opposed to ad hoc, reviews of the FOIA libraries to identify any outdated or duplicative records for updating. They're also coordinating and tracking the completion of DOJ's Self-Assessment Toolkit module for proactive disclosures to identify gaps across the enterprise. They identify large categories of records for proactive disclosure and work to post them within 3 days of identification, and they discuss future opportunities for updated standards and best practices for DHS FOIA. The team's work reflects the importance of leadership support for transparency and shows how a multifaceted group composed of members from different teams with various duties can collectively make an impact to further proactive disclosure across the agency. Katrina Pavlik-Keenan, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer at DHS, nominated the team for this award. Thank you all for your work to improve proactive disclosures.
Thank you.
The final award in this category goes to a team in EPA's Office of Chemical Safety and Pollution Prevention. This team overcame numerous technical, regulatory, and communication challenges to launch a new web-based search tool to increase transparency by posting 10 years of pesticide incident data on its website. A pesticide incident is any unexpected or unintended exposure or effect from a pesticide's use. Previously, pesticide incident information was only provided in response to FOIA requests or as an incident summary during a registration review process. This limited access led to confusion and skepticism by the public. Releasing pesticide incident data on the agency's website was an enormous undertaking with broad and immediate impact to the user community and the public stakeholders. The team maximized the positive impact on the public while minimizing confusion that can result from large-scale data releases. One environmental advocacy organization described the release of the incident data as the most significant step the EPA has taken to increase transparency with the public about pesticides and their harms. In carrying out this fast-moving plan, the team demonstrated exceptional coordination, teamwork, and unity in their commitment to environmental protection and transparency. EPA's General Counsel, Jeffrey Prito, nominated the team for this award. Thank you all for your exceptional service.
Thank you.
Our next award category this year, and our final award category, is for lifetime service in FOIA administration. The Lifetime Service Award recognizes those professionals with at least 20 years of work in FOIA who have demonstrated high standards of excellence and dedication in the administration of FOIA throughout their career. We are presenting 7 Lifetime Service Awards this year. Our first award goes to Carol Field with the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration at the Department of the Treasury. Carol Field has 34 years of distinguished and sustained contributions to the Department of Treasury's FOIA operations, having worked in the FOIA administration at both the IRS and currently at TIGTA. Throughout her tenure, Ms. Field has demonstrated a commitment to identifying and sharing best practices and advancing new FOIA initiatives. Her strong analytical skills and ability to build positive relationships with FOIA requesters and agency personnel have contributed significantly to TIGTA's successful FOIA program. She has gained the trust and support of others by promoting harmony and teamwork and sharing her FOIA expertise with colleagues. Amy Jones, Branch Chief for Disclosure in the Office of the Chief Counsel for TIGTA, nominated Ms. Field for this award. Ms. Field, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA. Our next Lifetime Service Award goes to Dolores Barber from the Department of Homeland Security Privacy Office. Ms. Barber has over 40 years of dedicated federal service and has exemplified high standards of excellence and commitment to FOIA throughout her career. Her tenure includes significant roles on Capitol Hill and with the Departments of Commerce, Education, Homeland Security, and the EPA, where she has consistently demonstrated her dedication to public service and excellence in FOIA administration. She was also selected by the Archivist of the United States to serve on the inaugural FOIA Advisory Committee. Ms. Barber's accomplishments include her role as IT specialist and former Deputy Chief of Communications at the Bureau of Economic Analysis, where she managed web operations, publications, FOIA processes, and public affairs. Additionally, at the Department of Education, she served as the director of the FOIA for Service Center and acting director to the $1 billion Impact Aid Program Office, showcasing her ability to manage complex programs and deliver results. Katrina Pavlikina, Deputy Chief FOIA Officer at DHS, nominated Ms. Barber for this award. Ms. Barber, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. And I believe she is joining us via live stream as well. Our next award in this category goes to Joan Moonblow at the Environmental Protection Agency Administration. Ms. Moonblow began her FOIA career at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration at the U.S. Department of Commerce, where she became an expert in FOIA, records management, and e-discovery. When she joined the EPA's National FOIA Office, Ms. Moonblow worked as a member of EPA's FOIA Expert Assistance Team, giving advice on legal issues for complex, voluminous, and sensitive requests, and providing project management and coordination for these requests. As an e-discovery expert, she trained EPA employees and organized responsive records so pristinely that it reduced EPA's review hours. Ms. Moonblow wears many hats in EPA's National FOIA Office. She manages and develops the FOIA content for EPA's FOIA website and for the OGC National FOIA Office intranet site, which she recently redesigned and which is heavily used and relied upon by the 300+ members of the EPA FOIA community. With her strong organizational skills, project management skills, knowledge of technology and FOIA, Ms. Moonblow managed the transition in EPA's FOIA case management system and developed EPA-specific training sessions. Overall, the EPA community greatly relies on Ms. Moonblow's guidance and recommendations. Jeffrey Prito, EPA's General Counsel, nominated Ms. Moonblow for this award. Ms. Moonblow, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. Our next award in this category goes to Kathy Lewis, a senior paralegal specialist for the Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command Southwest. Ms. Lewis has provided 30 years of service as NAVVAC's Southwest FOIA and PA coordinator. She is a go-to person and shares her extensive knowledge with the other NAVVAC FOIA PA coordinators. Ms. Lewis supports dozens of attorneys and has trained numerous junior support staff. Throughout the COVID pandemic, she handled in-office duties while most staff teleworked, handling paper files for high-profile cases. Ms. Lewis provides supportive customer service to requesters, even in delicate situations, is a great mentor, and is highly respected by leadership and her peers. Abby Mashalak, NAVVAC FOIA Privacy Act Officer, nominated Ms. Lewis for this award. Ms. Lewis, who is joining us via live stream, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. The next award for lifetime service goes to Lisa Snyder, who just recently retired from the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation's legal division after over 43 years with the FDIC. Ms. Snyder began her career with the FDIC as a clerk stenographer, secretary, and program assistant. She became the FDIC's first full-time FOIA practitioner, beginning as a FOIA technician and retiring as a government information specialist. She was instrumental to standing up the FDIC's FOIA program. In her last full year with the FDIC, she processed 233 requests. Throughout her FOIA career, she diligently processed requests quickly and efficiently and made an effort to be helpful to requesters. As a result of Lisa's exceptional work, which benefited both the FDIC and the public at large, she received 33 awards during her tenure with the FDIC. Upon her retirement, the FDIC's General Counsel personally recognized Lisa by presenting her with a special resolution. Ms. Snyder was nominated by Sarah Kunanen, Supervisory Counsel, and Tom Johnson, Senior Counsel of FDIC's FOIA program. Ms. Snyder, thank you for your exceptional lifetime service to FOIA administration. Our next award in this category goes to Rita Tate from EPA's Region 3 FOIA program. She is joining us via live stream. From joining EPA as a clerk typist and then ascending to the role of FOIA officer, Rita effected change by modernizing and centralizing information processes through technology, structure, and personal integrity. She professionalized the FOIA function in EPA Region 3 and eliminated a backlog of 500 requests that stood for more than 30 years. When Ms. Tate became Region 3's FOIA officer, she was the only person in a region of 850 people who was working full-time on FOIA. So she developed and trained a network of FOIA coordinators in each of the divisions and offices that process requests, raising the profile of FOIA work and resulting in significant backlog decreases. She was instrumental in facilitating the shift to centralized processing at EPA and has since resulted in Region 3 eliminating its backlog and maintaining low processing times. While furthering FOIA at EPA, Ms. Tate also spent 21 years in the Air Force Reserves, including 2 years of active duty during Operation Enduring Freedom. She also served on EPA's Critical Incident Stress Management Team, supporting first responders. Ms. Tate was nominated by Jeffrey Prito, EPA's General Counsel. Thank you, Ms. Tate, for your exceptional lifetime service in FOIA. Our final award in this category, and our final award for today, goes to Wanda Frazier, a FOIA professional at the Department of Education. Ms. Frazier has worked on FOIA for 26 years, with many of those years spent helping lead the department's Office of Civil Rights Metro FOIA program. She's a staple within the office and within the FOIA community. So many rely on her expertise, and she is always happy to respond and share her knowledge with anyone who may be interested. She's particularly skilled at working with requesters, clarifying their requests, and making them feel heard and respected. Most recently, Ms. Frazier is actively engaged in training OCR's newest FOIA practitioners, working with other offices to establish and stabilize their FOIA teams. The Department of Education's Chief FOIA Officer, Deborah Moore, nominated Ms. Frazier for this award. Ms. Frazier, thank you for your lifetime of service to FOIA administration. That concludes our awards ceremony. Congratulations again to all of this year's awards recipients. I'd like to now turn it back to Bobby for closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay, and thank you again, everyone, for joining us today, both here and via live stream. And thank you especially to our awardees for all your great work in furthering your agency's FOIA administration. This will conclude our event, but I wish everyone a very bright Sunshine Week. Thank you, everyone.